Hey guys, and welcome to Wrestling Days. So today I wanted to just have a look at who the Undertaker's opponent might be at this year's Wrestlemania. News has broken in the past couple of days that it's finalised, the opponent has been selected, and it's actually someone that's not on the current active roster. Now that could be one of a few things. It could be that it's someone from NXT. It could be that it's someone that's injured. Or it could be someone that's not on the roster at all. So taking that into account, I've selected 3 wrestlers. These are the 3 guys that I think would sit top of each of those categories, thus making them the 3 likeliest candidates. I could be a million miles out here, and I'd certainly like to know who you think the Undertaker's opponent will be, or even who it should be, who it is you'd like to see. But this rules out Kevin Owens. It rules out Braun Strowman as well, which I don't think there'll be too many tears shed for. So let's have a look at the 3 wrestlers that I've selected. So let's start with the injured wrestler. So this could be Cesaro. It could be Seth Rollins. It could be Randy Orton. It could be Sting. But I think the most likely candidate, and this is really out of all of the options, the match that is the most heavily rumoured, is John Cena. Now, the John Cena match against Undertaker, I think, would be fantastic. I know Cena's got a lot of haters, but the US Open Challenge really showed what he was capable of. For me, Cena played a big part in those matches being as successful as what they were. It always seemed to be Cena's opponent that was getting the credit for the performance. And I think that Cena last year actually tried to introduce a few new moves into his arsenal. Certainly the springboard stunner comes to mind straight away. And so you have to give him credit for at least trying to develop and push things forward. And I think that he does well at near falls and, taking a bit of damage and making his opponent look strong. The criticism of Cena has always been that he's never actually laid down and gone the whole 9 yards. He has a few times. Obviously, Daniel Bryan famously won a SummerSlam a few years ago. But you think back to the likes of the Wyatt feud in particular, or the Rusev feud, and all of those were disappointing outcomes. Even the Kevin Owens feud, Kevin Owens managed to get a victory over Cena, but it was Cena that still won the war. So a one-off match, Cena against Undertaker, I think could be fascinating. I think would be. There's not many names that could help Undertaker really draw. It seems to be Undertaker's the one that helps do most of the drawing. But I think a Cena Undertaker match would be fascinating. And I honestly don't know which way the company would go. I would hope Taker would pick up the win, but I don't know. Next category then would be the outsiders category. We'd be looking at people like Nakamura, maybe. I know he's scheduled to appear in NXT. But he's not in the company at the moment, and well, until he actually appears, never say never. So could be Nakamura. Goldberg has been chased after by WWE for a while now. There's an outside chance that it could be Goldberg. I'd hope not. I think for me the most likely candidate would be Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle at the moment, he's finished up with TNA. He's been making a lot of rumblings about MMA. And actually in a recent interview he was saying that he wasn't interested in WWE. But I find it hard to believe that if they were to come calling with, a sizable pay packet and the opportunity of him facing Undertaker at WrestleMania, I don't see how he turns that down. I think that he's a big name. He's a credible name. I think that it could be an interesting match. It's not a match in truth that I would really pop for. I think that Kurt Angle has been in the wilderness of TNA for 9 years. I actually don't know how many casual fans would be familiar with him now. Obviously, amongst the hardcore fans, the internet fans, the smarks, you know, it's Kurt Angle, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, with an Olympic background. He brings credibility, but I don't know what a Kurt Angle Undertaker match would look like in 2016. For me, this is the outside option, and I don't know. I honestly don't know if it's the right call. Which leaves the last category. That last category being NXT, and there are plenty of options in this one. In truth, this would be my favoured option. I think that an Undertaker Sami Zayn match could be fascinating. I think that an Undertaker Samoa Joe match would be interesting as well. In fact, there's so many options down there. But for me, the most obvious one, and it's the one that I've been rooting for a while, it's the match that I don't do reaction videos because my reactions aren't that extreme. You know, I get excited and, you know, I pop at certain moments when I'm watching the product, but not like other YouTubers that I see that are literally screaming the building down. I honestly think I would be like an Apollo rocket if it was Finn Balor, the demon, that came out to issue a challenge to the dead man. If we get Balor Undertaker at this year's WrestleMania, I will freak. That is just... And to tell the truth, I think it's now or never. I really don't know where Undertaker is this time next year. There's been a lot of rumours, obviously, that this might be his last match, that it's in Texas. There's nothing left for him to achieve. You know, he might want to settle down now, and he kind of did more dates last year, which could be seen as a bit of a farewell tour. It might just be that WWE were, you know, shit's creek and really needed him to help put, you know, some asses on seats. But I would worry that whoever his opponent is this year, it stands a chance of being his last one. I would love a passing of the torch moment. I would love a Balor Undertaker match with Balor coming out victorious. It just sets him up. They should have built for this for Wyatt. You know, Wyatt, the new face of fear, makes perfect sense. But they've just misfired on Wyatt again and again and again. You've got an opportunity now with Balor, with the Demon, to get this right first time. And I would urge WWE take this option. I would have been excited to have seen Kevin Owens or AJ Styles. Daniel Bryan would have been fantastic. You know, as I say, the rumours have come out. This is someone that's not currently on the main active roster, and I'll be keeping everything crossed. That means we see the Demon against the Dead Man. So, as I said at the start, I'd love to know your thoughts. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Who is it that you think he'll be facing? Who is it that you'd like to see him facing? It's always a major talking point come WrestleMania season. And maybe we'll find out as soon as this Sunday at Fastlane. I've got a sneaky suspicion that they're gonna have to pull something out of the bag, because that seems a pretty flat card to me. And there needs to be some kind of surprises, and maybe the re-emergence of Undertaker might just be that surprise, or they hold off for WrestleMania. Or what just dawned on me is it's The Rock, who we know is at WrestleMania, who isn't on the active roster, and that would be a headline match. Rock versus Taker, and you know that Rock would be able to cover for any struggles that Taker or difficulties that Taker was having. He's not going to be like Lesnar, you know, The Rock's not going to smash Undertaker around the ring. Maybe The Rock comes out, cuts a promo, and then we hear the gongs. There's options, and I think Rock would fight if the money was right on the table and his commitments were all, you know, set up, yeah, that could be interesting. That could be interesting. I'll keep my fingers crossed for Balor, but Rock's not a bad plan B. Cool. As always, thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget you can follow me on Twitter at Wrestling Days UK. Love chatting to you guys, and it's brilliant watching more and more people jumping over there. So love to see you do the same. And I'll have another video again for you tomorrow. And as always, thanks a lot for watching.